Wait a second.
Hello, hello. I'm here with Natacha Diels, the brilliant and creative mind, composer, flautist, and also video maker. And I've always been a huge fan of you as a composer and as a musician, just like very singular, inimitable creative presence that you have in the
Yeah.
world. But then I was so amazed when you started taking up video making. From what I saw, not only like how proficiently and quickly you started doing it, but also just how unique both the content and what seemed like the technical process of making it was from my perspective. So I was wondering if you could just tell us a little bit about how you started getting into video making.
Yeah, thanks for that very nice introduction, and likewise, of course. Um, yeah, I got into making videos because a long time ago, I started making GIFs without the T for my friends, just because it was really fun to make them like these animated little short things. And they started getting more and more elaborate over the years, and then they started turning into these little mini animation stories. And I started to realize that I really liked working with visual mediums in that way. And especially because they were GIFs and they didn't have any sound attached to them, I was kind of like, I didn't feel any of the pressure that is, that comes with being a musician for a really, really long time and being a composer for a really, really long time. And I was kind of, really new to the visual medium, and so I didn't feel any kind of pressure to do anything in any particular way. And that was really fun for me, and so I started making music videos. And the first kind of few that I made were trailers for Ensemble Pamplemousse. And then I started making kind of full-length videos also with Pamplemousse, and that's kind of where that whole thing unraveled into.
In your composition work too, from my perspective, you break so many boundaries of how I'd seen things done, typically working with lots of different materials, and did like a piece for cranes. Is that right? You made like a piece for cranes. um, and you're breaking the wall between performer and audience a lot. Do you approach video making in the same way?
Well, I think I actually approach video making the way that I approach composition. Like, I feel like I kind of do the same thing that I do in composing music when I make a video, which I think is, I guess I'm not really sure, but I feel like maybe it's a little different, and it's definitely, like, I think a lot less efficient than like somebody that is educated in video making might do. But so it ends up taking me a really long time, but it's this really satisfying thing because it's like the process is something that's pretty familiar to me, but all of the material is unfamiliar, and I'm learning about it all the time. I mean, I'm learning in music all the time too, but this is very new stuff for me. And yeah, so it's like a combination of this familiarity with the form and totally like, totally new material. And the thing that's really interesting about working with the new material is that the way that time passes is really different when you work with visuals versus music, and that's really fun to kind of move between the sound and the video and see how the time is being stretched and compressed.
Have you made any music videos for kids before?
Well, I make a birthday video for Caden, my son, every year, and that's really fun. But no, not for like a kid song. But I think I use a lot of like kid like imagery in my other videos, so I like making like these animated characters. But no, I haven't.
Was the approach for this video that you made for the song Sae Taryeong any different than the ones you'd made before? And like, how did you conceptualize the visual world from the song?
Yeah, I actually learned a lot from the other brilliant people on your album, from the videos that they made. Because again, like back to the time thing, I noticed that the way that they approach time is different than the way that people approach time when they make like a grown-up music video. It's slower, and it allows things to move in a way that I thought was really nice, actually. And so I have kind of a tendency to move really quickly between shots when I make music videos, and to just kind of like oversaturate. And And it was kind of nice to be like, oh, I don't really like necessarily need to do that, and it's kind of appropriate, especially when you're making something for kids, to kind of let the time, you know, sit on some things. Yeah, and then so I kind of got the idea for the material from the video. Caden was really into Totoro when I started the movie Totoro when I started making the video, and so I made this like landscape that was, he called it the Totoro tree that I made. It doesn't look like the Totoro tree, but you know. And then he was also really into bad birds, like harpy eagle, you know, like these scary birds that kill large animals. And so I was like, oh, bad birdies, that's a good idea. And so, yeah, I took a lot of ideas from Caden for this
That's
one.
cool. And you drew those birds, right?
Yeah, the the bad birdies.
Well, I love the birds that you drew. I thought they had a lot of character to them.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I
Like,
really like them too.
I guess the idea of them like eating us, that because they're bad birdies, is that where that came from?
Yeah, I mean, you know, they're not like vicious. They're just like, you know, like kind of troublemakers.
Right. That's awesome. Cool. Do you think you'll do more stuff for young audiences?
I hope so. That was so fun. I was so happy to be a part of this. And it was so cool to see those other videos and to listen to that song so many times. I loved it.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for taking the time to talk with me today and
Thank
for making
you.
this video. I really, really love it, and I'm so excited to share it with the world. So, thanks.
Me too.
All right. Okay. Bye.